Hi everyone, this is Diva from Blood Hunter, and you're listening to the Metal Pit Podcast.
Welcome to the Metal Pit Podcast. This is where we dive into the albums and bands that made metal what it is today. I'm your host, Blake, and together we'll explore the sounds, the legends, and the anthems that keep the metal flame burning. Don't forget to visit our website, www.themetalpit.org, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Metal Pit. For all things podcast related, head to themetalpitpodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram there, which is at The Metal Pit Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube at The Metal Pit 666, where you can listen to audio versions of this podcast. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or maybe you want to be a guest, email me podcast@themetalpit.org.
And my guest today is Georgina, one of the writers on the Metal Pit. She hasn't been on the podcast in a while. How are you, Georgina?
Hi, Blake. Nice to see you. So wonderful to be here again. Glad to be back after my little hiatus. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yes. And this is July 22nd that we're recording this. And so I thought we might as well mention that Ozzy Osborne passed away today. And
Yes.
I don't know his age, sorry, 70 something.
76. He was 76.
So there's all kinds of posts on Instagram, probably Facebook, everywhere. It was even on our local news channel tonight that he passed away. And of course, like 2 weeks ago, Black Sabbath did their final show and a whole bunch of bands were there, mostly doing Black Sabbath covers like Metallica, Slayer, the Lamb of God, etc., etc. There's actually a story. One of our writers, George, who you know, of course, Georgina, he streamed it or paid for the streaming thing. So he wrote a review from watching the streaming. So if you want to read that, you can do that.
Oh, great.
And so Ozzy, one of the bands, of course, Black Sabbath, that helped start heavy metal. And he has passed away. Of course, he sat in a chair while they did that concert. So of course he hasn't looked that good probably in years anyway. But it's kind of nice. I guess it's fitting. I don't know. This is one of the things that happens in life. But he does his final concert, and a couple of weeks later, he passes away. So everybody that got to see it will probably be sad, but they'll be happy that they got to see it. And do you have any thoughts on Ozzy passing?
Well, I loved Ozzy Osborne. I even named my dog after him. I really did. Loved his pioneering role in heavy metal and Black Sabbath. And he had this great charismatic stage presence and a pretty good successful solo career. And he influenced rock music so heavily. And he was just a captivating performer and a cultural icon, I believe. And he captivated people on and off stage. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Rest in peace.
Yes. Okay. And I'm sure we'll be doing more Black Sabbath albums in the future. And I know we have people that love some of the Ozzy Black Sabbath albums. And I know we've did a couple. I can't even remember. Sorry, we're in our third season. It's or what I've done, unless I look it up. Okay. And speaking of podcasts, I wanted to mention that I am also now on another podcast. So if you like horror movies and music, the podcast is called Someone's in My Fruit Cellar, which is a line from one of the Evil Dead horror movies. And me and my co-host is Lonnie Lee, who is an American girl from Maine, but who has also lived in Canada too. Like you did that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was born in Canada. I was born in Montreal. My whole family's still there, the majority of it.
She wasn't born in Canada, but she went to school in Ottawa and stuff. But anyway, she loves horror and gore and heavy metal, so she might be the perfect female. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, in the podcast, we picked the 10 most vital scenes of a classic horror movie. And after we discuss each scene, we give our song choice that would fit that scene, like we're picking our own soundtrack for the movie ourselves. So, for example, if there's a car on the road driving and it gets killed or something, we might say Highway to Hell by AC/DC or something like that. But it's a little more, we get a little more complicated than that or whatever. So we've only done one episode, and that was on Evil Dead. So if you want to check that out, do it. And our next episode is on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you like horror movie and heavy metal music, mostly because she likes heavy metal, I like heavy metal, we do venture off. We will or did or whatever venture off into other genres, I'm sure, to try to mix it up. But what goes best with horror movies and heavy metal, really. So if you want to check that out, do that. That's Someone's in My Fruit Cellar podcast, available same places you listen to this podcast. So check that out. And okay, Georgina hasn't been on in a while, so we thought we might as well do something we both love. So we're back back with another Faith No More album. Because
Yay!
Let's do that. So we're going for the album King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime from 1995. The fifth album from Faith No More, the first album after the departure of longtime guitarist Jim Martin. And this one, okay, I'm going to read what it says in Wikipedia, the different genres that are on this album, according to whoever wrote up the Wikipedia page. It has elements of heavy metal, punk, big band music, blue-eyed soul, bossa nova, cocktail music, country, death metal, gospel, grindcore, gothic metal, funk, lounge music, Japanese noise music, jazz, power pop, salsa, swing music, thrash metal, and Western music. Now, I don't
a lot going on there.
With all those names, but I guess we'll come up with something. So what do you want to say first? I know we've already done 2 Faith No More podcasts together, so we probably already talked about when we first heard Faith No More. But before we get into the album, do you have any thoughts on this album before we talk about each song?
I love when we do a Faith No More podcast, because I'm such a diehard fan. I didn't have to twist my arm to do this. We both know Faith No More are never going to be a band who garner middling reviews. They either attract hatred or full sense admiration from people. And similarly, their music defies a simplistic evaluation. And what would be that reason is that Faith No More has no limitation. Their music runs the whole gamut, like you said, from death metal to loudcore cool, which basically means, right, all but the most eclectic music fan will have anything other than a pick and mix appreciation of this album, King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. The music it turns deranged to humorous, to dark, to funky, to schizophrenic, to versatile and jazzy. And Mike, his vocals somehow just managed to swing from screaming caged animal to this contrifying twang without even sounding bogus. So listening to this album and asking me to do this podcast was quite a trip.
Yes, and there's one thing I don't like about some groups is where every song sounds the same on an album. I won't mention genres or anything. But so that's one thing I like about Faith No More, and especially this album. And I love The Real Thing and I love Angel Dust, but those albums were more the same sound, not exactly the same sound throughout, but more or less the same. But this one is all over the place, like you mentioned. And even the next one, album of the year, the next album, the 6th album, and then even the 7th one, the one when they came back, they're all over the place. And I like that. It's variety, and you might not like every song. There's 14 songs on this thing. You might not like every song, but there's so much good stuff in here, especially if you can handle his screaming and cackling screaming and whatever.
I love it. Oh my God, I love
He
it.
should be in horror movies. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
just screaming.
He would make a great psycho, right? Would make like a great killer. He would.
I'll have some Faith No More songs for my horror podcast thing.
Yeah, RV.
There's one on here that I might use. Where did that? This one of the songs on here I thought would be good on horror.
Take This Bottle. Like that's another one.
Well, there's Dig in the Grave. It's on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought there was another one. Maybe that was the one I was thinking. Oh, Ugly in the Morning might work too if something happens in a movie where somebody wakes up.
True.
Anyway, okay, so this album was produced by Andy Wallace. There was another producer with also the last name Wallace that produced earlier Faith No More albums, but they're not related. And replacing Jim Martin on the guitar was Trey Spruance of Mr. Bungle, who, of course, he also sang for. Mike Patton sang for, or does sing for. No, what they done? I don't remember. Mr. Bungle.
Yes, my
Still around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm confused because he was in so many different bands.
Yes.
And this was recorded in Woodstock, New York. Not that I guess that matters, but it was anyway. And let's see, I already talked about all the genres. And with the controversy or whatever, because they fired Jim Martin, he didn't like the way the band's sound was going, because he's more of a metal guy and probably wanted to have more metal songs and all metal, not straying off into this jazz and salsa stuff and whatever. So anyway, he left that guitar, and also the production of this album was marred by a car accident that the band was in, or some of the band was in, where keyboard player Roddy Bottom was injured, I think, and he was also affected by the deaths of his father and Kurt Cobain, because he was friends with Kurt Cobain and his wife Courtney Love, and Courtney Love also was one of the first singers of Faith No More before they made an album. Knew that, or I think we probably mentioned it on one of the other podcasts too. But guitarist Spruance did not tour with the band. The roadie Dean Menta played the guitar because this guy didn't want to tour or something like that, I read. But anyway, okay, so we're gonna get into it now. There's 14 songs here, so we'll start with the lead track, Get Out. And you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first. This song, what can I say? You've got this frantic pace and this cracking drum of the opener, and it sets the mood for the record. I think it's clocking in at 2:17. I can't remember. And immediately, that's pretty sure. And Patton's voice comes in with this jagged guitar riff that leaves no doubt that there is a new guitarist on board here. And the song is pretty short. It's sweet and to the point, whatever that may be. And the song has this like punk metal flavor that is present on most of the record. And Patton's vocal style has grown a little here. And the vocals in the mix don't have as much presence as in past records, I don't think, but it suits the music perfectly. I love it. I love it. I'm going to love every single song here. I don't have anything negative to say. But so I think about Get Out.
It's funny. I just noted this album peaked at number 2 in Australia, number 3 in New Zealand. So they really like it over there, or up there, down there, whatever you want to call it.
Down there, yeah.
It only peaked at number 31 in the United States. But anyway, I just noticed that as I was going. Anyway, back to the songs. Sorry. Yeah, Get Out. It's a short, punky adrenaline song. And yeah, it's just over 2 minutes long, like you said. And it's about, I guess the lyrics are about creative frustration and feeling stifled, possibly a jab at internal band tensions between albums or whatever. And this song was one of the last written for the album and showcases a deliberate decision to be more direct, maybe more indirect after Angel Dust album. I'm not sure how many years between. We had a few years in between. Anyway, then we go to Ricochet. I guess I might just let you start on each song.
Okay. I remember sharing this song, and this song opens up with some pounding, and Patton's opening harmonies are cradled in this guitar who can sing and thick heaviness. And Patton's a joker, and that's why I love him. He's sarcastic. He's a genius. I fucking love this man. Sorry I said the F word, but I really do. I absolutely love Mike Patton. And his sense of humor is a little more subtle than past albums. And with the line, it's always funny until someone gets hurt. Then it's just hilarious. And I can never forget that line. And Shirley's guitar is more reminiscent of Adam Jones' sound more than, I guess, his predecessors. Like Sabbath meets like Metallica, and there's this over-the-top sound. I think it's it's actually a combination of Ghoul's bass sound and guitar sound together that remind me a little of, I hate saying Tool. Like, I'm not a big Tool fan, and clearly the two play from different influences, but this new sound is like this perfect match for Patton's smooth, sexy vocals that are highlighted here and the guitar style. It just basically leaves more room for the bass to shine through compared to, I think, earlier records. And Gould fills the space. He's love this song. I can never forget that tagline. Love it.
Yes, and I also love that line. It's always funny until someone gets hurt, and then it's just hilarious. And also, I like the line, there's no reason, no explanation, so play the violins. And this song was the second single of the album and was promoted with an appearance on Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Wow. I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure if it's on YouTube somewhere or not. Oh, and also
everything's on YouTube.
I forgot to go look this up, but I guess the video features bizarre imagery of mannequins and exploding heads. I definitely forgot to go back and check that out. I can't really remember that myself. I watch music. Okay, then we go to track 3, Evidence. Okay, what do you think of Evidence?
When I thought of the song, I thought of the album cover and the art there. So I was like, macabre, the canine, bark, Evidence. I was just like, oh, they're tying the songs up to the album cover. But this one is one of the standout performances of the album. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
is this sexy?
Evidence? Evidence is always sexy, especially if you have to go to court. Like, that always ask me how I know. I think this actually, sadly, it actually made, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of the top 100 that year, and it beat out Live. I also love Live at being Live and Foo Fighters among like other top acts. And the bass guitar here, like, basically controls the song from the get-go, with Borden and Trey pretty much he lets Gould carry the entire group. And Roddy adds like this really tasteful and melodic piano here. And then you have this jazzy funkiness to all of this kind of lets Patton really belt out some beautiful melodies here. He hypnotizes you into this trance that makes you fall in love with Faith No More, which isn't really that hard to do. And the guitar solos are beautiful, and the accents during the chorus are testaments of Trey's talent. It's a really well done song. Clap it. Love it.
Yeah, he kind of maybe Patton croons like a sleazy lounge singer.
Love it. Oh yeah, they did.
One of the lines, I'm not really sure what it means. But if you want to open up the hole, just put your head down and go. Don't really know what it means. Apparently, the song was a major hit in South America. I'm not sure what that means exactly. I know what it means, but I'm not sure why it would be more of a hit in South.
What's great, you remember how on the line where it says, anything you say, we know you're guilty, hands above your head, and you won't even feel me, right? Because they're doing a strip search, which is another song.
Oh, and you've been through that, right?
Every day, like.
Every day? Wow.
Oh,
anyway, yeah, so it's very jazz and lounge kind of music kind of song. And that was the only, that was, what was that? The third single from the album, I think.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was the only light song that was released as a single, and I'll get to something about that later, probably in the first single. Yeah. Okay, then we go to another one of my favorites, The Gentle Art of Making Enemies. And what do you?
Yeah, it is an art. Actually, it definitely is an art. It's definitely one of the heavier songs on the record, and it starts out with beat whisper and builds up to this frenzy that like explodes with this chorus. And it's one of the shorter songs, and it's almost over even before it starts. It ends with this garbled, guttural, whining, screaming thing that only Patton could do. Oh, but yet it's considered a fan favorite, and I love it. Other people will argue and they'll say, like, oh, there are other songs on the album that stand out more, but it's pretty much an even playing field for me. I love it. It is fun.
Where is something I'm looking for here?
And don't look so surprised, right? Happy birthday.
It's 3.5 minutes long. And I guess the song is maybe about spite and revenge,
It could be.
possibly directed at Jim Martin.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
her. Yeah. And I also, there's a line about sex, but I didn't write it down.
Which one?
I'm the
We're
best.
going to kick you.
I'm the best.
Yeah.
This is the one. I'm the best fuck you ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's singing along to that song, and they're like, when they sing that play, like, they with conviction. Like, yeah.
And yeah, at the end, he just keeps screaming over and over. I never felt this much alive, even though I think he's still. The lyrics don't say the F word. I think he is saying. Anyway, then we go to a weird kind of titled song here, Star AD. Which, do I know what that means? I don't know if I do.
Yes. Yes, you do know what it means. Star after death, like BC,
Oh, okay.
AD. So Star AD, it's probably one of the most unique Faith No More songs I've ever heard. And you've got this mix of big band swing and just about every other genre all rolled up into one. And it's a very fun song. And it's a good break in between the previous and even the next tracks. And I just appreciate listening to it. But I love it. It's like the show type of feel. Stop, baby. Na, 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 na. It's like ringing in my head while I'm like talking about it. Love it. Great stuff.
This, I think it's just like Earth, Wind, and Fire jamming with Black Flag. I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Depends
Oh,
how
nice
old
one.
people are to even know who those two bands groups are.
I know.
But I guess the horns were real, recorded with local jazz musicians. The song was reportedly almost left off the album for being too weird. I don't know. Lots of songs are weird, I think. But
Yeah.
and I guess maybe the song's about fame and ego too, and
Yes.
celebrity culture.
Yes.
Don't be late for your benefit concert.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, now this is my favorite, I think, on this album. Not just the title's my favorite and the song's my favorite, I think. Oh no, it's not my favorite. Second favorite. Sorry. But anyway, Cuckoo for Kaka. And what do you think of Cuckoo for Kaka?
For the second it's done, it's gonna be like it's gonna stereotype the new you know what. The macabre, like the pipe organ scares you to death while Borton's drums pound you into hell. Even as Trey's guitar playing warns you to look under the bed before you go to sleep. That's the only one that just caught the soap, and the song never lets up. And it's heavy as anything. And Patton makes it all the more insane with these odd lyrics like being good gets you stuff, being stuff gets you good. Makes you wonder how many hits of acid he dropped before writing the song. I love it. And it's funny, like, growing tired with the turd on your lips under a pair of knowing eyes. I'm going to take a few down with me and drop my good side. Level.
This is probably one of the heaviest Faith No More tracks. Definitely on this album, but even of all of their tracks. But there's I can't prize you're dead on the real thing is pretty heavy. And yes, and
I love that song. That's one of my favorite Faith No More songs, actually. Surprise You're Dead. Literally one of my favorite tracks ever.
and yes, because this is crashy too and heavy, and yeah, it's a great song. And apparently, the title is a play on the Cocoa Puffs catchphrase. I don't know what the Cocoa Puffs catchphrase was.
For Cocoa Puffs. That's what it was.
Oh,
I'm cooking for Cocoa Puffs. Did you eat Cocoa Puffs? I said eat Cocoa Puffs.
and he says at the end of the song, "Listen to our drummer Puff. Being good gets you stuff." You know, that other line. And track number 7 is called what, Georgina?
Which in Portuguese, in Portuguese, it actually means flying dick.
Yeah, I have that. I can say that.
Which, you know, that Patton is actually fluent in Portuguese.
Yes, I think, yeah, because some of the lyrics in the song are that, right? It's this one, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. More about flying dick.
Extremely relaxed tune for one with even with such a title. And Patton rarely goes above a whisper at the start, easing you out of the previous track's insanity, pretty much. It's a simple but effective song, and it's a good buffer between the heavier songs. And the loose translation of like this Portuguese is basically is I can't drive, and now my index finger shows up in my nose. That's what that it translates. You gotta love Mike. I really, honest to God, I love this guy.
This is probably maybe the only song on the album where there's no screaming at all. It doesn't scream.
Yeah.
We show it. Yes, it's good. Smooth Brazilian jazz meets funk. I don't know. But with the Portuguese. So I assume this song is popular in South America too. Anyway, now we get to what happens when you wake up in the morning beside somebody you had sex with, whatever. I don't know. Oh, but anyway, song called Ugly in the Morning. And so what do you think of this?
Oh, you know what? Sometimes I'm ugly in the morning. You know, I think when it's relatable. This is a relatable fucking track with that question. And it's another short, heavy song. And this song would be dark and evil, but the vocals are just plain freaking funny. And the song seemed like it could have been written during the Angel Dust sessions. Like I could see them like writing this time. And there's some lyrical highlights here, folks, where he says, you did one thing wrong. You woke up. But that's not being with him. Something you get him reading away. And I was like, this is brilliant. Love this guy. Love Faith No More.
And this song, Ugly in the Morning, appeared in a 2016 episode of this TV series, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The episode was titled Being Frank. I'll have to look at the series starred Danny DeVito, and he is a fan of the band and I guess a friend of Mike Patton's, or at least he was then. Or whatever. And yeah, if you want some screaming, he definitely keeps screaming Ugly in the Morning at the end of the song. I don't know how his voice can handle it, actually. Anyway, now we get to the first single off the album, Digging the Grave, but I'll still let you start before I say.
All right. Look, man, it's definitely a classic song. Got this punk sound. It's pretty polished. And it makes you wonder why this band is not like the biggest band in the world, literally. Enough said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was because I don't remember but there was talk about what song they should release as the first single. And I think it was going to be Ricochet. Ricochet? Is that the one they said is the... No, it's not. That was the second single. It was Evidence. Yeah, the slower song. Because I think... But it was Gould said that radio will say our song Digging the Grave is too hard for them. It's too metal. But if we do a song like Evidence as the first single, then the metal stations won't want it. That's why they went with this song. And it's heavy, but it's still catchy. And And guess what? There's more screaming in it. But and I just love that. Yeah, whatever. Then we go from this screaming heavy rocker to a country kind of song with Take This Bottle. So what do you think?
Watch it all the way. Yeah, it's reminiscent of the country ballad. And there's some special quality here that kind of separates it from a country twang. I'm not a big country fan. Sorry, folks. I'm not. I can't for the life of me listen to country, but I can listen to this. I can listen to Mike Patton do like a country twang song. So there's basically no fancy playing here. The music is fairly simple. And it's a vocal song, right? With beautiful lyrics delivered honestly. And reading the lyrics, they seem like tongue in cheek, but the song doesn't really come off that way. And you can't really help but sing along to this track. Now, let me know, when this comes on, don't you like sing along to it? Or at least, in your mind, you like sing along to it. And far away, I'll treat you better than down here. What a kick in the head. Oh my God.
Do I have anything else? Oh, the band joked it was their version of a Nashville hit.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see, there's lots of, was it Beyonce? She won an award at a country because she made a country album or something, didn't she? Or a country.
Yeah, Cowboy Carter, I think, was the name. Cowboy Carter. Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's a great song too. And I love the differences. Then we go to the title track. I guess we'd call this title track King for a Day. And what do you think of this one?
The King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. It's hard to categorize this song. And the title track, the South, basically starts off with like a simple groove and some strumming guitar, while Gordon pulls a tight underneath all of this. You got this chill piano riff, and it adds this little mystery in the song as Patton whispers in your ear like he's trying to sell you something. And out of nowhere, the song rocks out and it adds a lot of depth and intrigue as to where it's basically going to go. And I remember the first time I heard this post-chord, like this jam, and it sent chills up my spine, and I had to listen to that part over and over again. There isn't really a moment like this anywhere on the album or anywhere else, for that matter. If you were talking about like another band, it's just a great climax to the record, and it's one of Faith No More's finer moments. And the song fades into nothing but a whisper. And the lyrical highlights here are like, "Don't let me die with that steady look in my eyes." And I think you know where he's going with that. Right?
Yes. And I know this song reminds me a little bit of something that would be on The Real Thing, actually, too, like Real Thing track. Totally, the track was inspired by the death of Patton's friend. Now, I don't like Patton's friend. And it's also one of Billy Gold's favorite Faith No More songs.
Yeah.
But yes, it's more of a dynamic song, I guess, than some of the other short ones, like the next one, What a Day. And what do you think of What a Day?
This could almost be like a filler track, but it's too good for that. And it's another short song, right? And it rocks hard throughout. You've got this familiar punk metal vibe and this silly kind of nonsensical like lyrics that make me think that Patton must have taken like a hit of acid or something when he did this. And this whole song is like weird, except the chorus where it comes in and there's like super catchy hook. And it's a lot of fun. It's a fun song. What a day, what a day. No, like it's just loving in my head while I'm talking about it.
And yes, of course, it's what a day, if you can look it in the face and hold your vomit. Yes.
Love it.
And let's see. It says the song was played live on some of the band's craziest 1995 sets, whatever. I'm not sure what that means, but usually when Patton felt especially off kilter. But doesn't he always feel off kilter? I don't know. But anyway,
Now he does.
yes, great song. Anyway, okay, so that's one of my favorites too, but I like most of them. I don't think I dislike really any song. Anyway, track 13, The Last to Know. What about this one?
Ooh, 13, my lucky number. I'm surprised they even have so many songs on this album. It's an underappreciated song. And when I first heard it, I thought it was a Stone Temple type of cover. On the vocal style, you've got the soloing and guitar riffs that remind me of like a Stone Pilot song way. And it's an epic song that captured my attention. And the solo at the end kind of shows Trey's skill and his willingness to submit to the song. And I love the lyrics. And he's like, can't you see there's always one me? And that me is me. I love that guy. I love that guy. I really do.
Let's see. I guess the song is maybe about betrayal.
Mhm.
Last to know. It reads like a letter to someone who left you behind. Only you're the last one to figure it out.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about that astronomy CEO who got caught
Oh,
at the Coldplay concert.
it's tough. Yeah. Anyway, okay. This song was almost never played live, but it was a deep cut that hardcore fans really hoped would. But I don't think, yeah. Anyway, then we finish with the, I don't know what you call it, gospel kind of song. Just a Man. What do you think of Just a Man, the song?
It almost started like a lullaby, and Gould pulls the ribbon down while Pat sings like this quiet melody that bursts into this chorus that I have a hard time putting it into words, but it comes together. Like there's this bridge that comes through, and then Patton uses like his stage voice, and then the song ends up with this dark side. It gets completely with this chorus of choir singers. And it's an interesting way to end a record. And it basically drags home the album of how good a band Faith No More were and how much they're missed. Especially by me. Oh my God, come back. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually my favorite, even I like my music heavy, but this is my favorite song on the album. I love this performance. And they hired a local gospel choir to record the backing vocals.
Yeah, I read about
I think
it.
it's just arranged great. And let's see, there was a lyric line I was looking for that I didn't write down. Every night I shut my eyes so I don't have to see the light. I don't know, shining so bright. I'll dream about a cloudy sky. Anyway, but yeah, is there anything else? I already said that. Live versions often featured extended outros and audience participation. Now, I did see, we'll probably talk about this. I saw Faith No More once, but it was probably the Angel Dust tour, and then they were just opening up for Metallica and Guns N' Roses, so they'll play like 30 minutes. So I'm sure it wouldn't, and this was before this album anyway. But anyway, that's the only time I ever got to see them live. But anyway, that's the album. So rating, what are you giving this out of 10?
Oh, I wouldn't say this is a 10. There's not any Faith No More album that will not get a 10 by me. I'm just like a devoted fan. Love Faith No More. Every album, Mr. Bungle, you name it, any project that Mike has done is a perfect 10 or 9.5. 10 for me. 10.
I think I would give it a 10 too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't dislike any song. I still listen to this album regularly, and all the Faith No More albums. I still listen to them regularly.
Me too.
They're like my favorite band. Yeah, so I'm giving it a 10 too. Now, have you ever seen them live or forget? We talk about that.
I have seen them live. Yes. Yes, I have seen them live. I have some fun facts. I don't know if I talked about them last time. Maybe I did. You have any fun facts?
No, I don't have anything else on that.
All right.
Anyway.
Lionel Richie, I'd read, was flattered by the band's cover of Easy. And I love that song. He did a beautiful cover of this song. And it's that the band got such a large fandom of metalheads due to their cover of, ironically, rest in peace, Ozzy, Black Sabbath's War Pigs, that they eventually dropped it from their live sets entirely. And yeah. And another fun fact is after they covered Black Sabbath's War Pigs, it became so popular that they then decided to spite a lot of the new metal fans that were following them by covering the Commodore's Easy instead, like I mentioned, right? And then it was followed by the Bee Gees. I started a joke. So both covers were performed with the hint of irony. And they also released both the singles too, which was actually even funnier. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. Did we talk about what their original name was or how the band name was?
We might have talked about it on the other episodes, but we didn't talk about this one.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Well, the band was named Faith No More after a greyhound that they had placed the bet on and track. Isn't that weird? They were called this 3 years before Chuck Mosley joined, and this was around 1980. And then Mosley was fired in 1988. And the band was originally called Faith No Man. And after firing one of their first singers, Mike Morris, aka The Man, they changed their name to Faith No More, seeing as the man was essentially no more. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have another fun fact. It's a little long. I don't know if I want to go into this.
Go ahead.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Band also knows a good joke. They play good jokes on their audience when they can at it. At one famous 1995 show, their opening act, noise rock band, Steel Pole Bathtub. I kid you not, that's their name, Steel Pole Bathtub. They played a set consisting of nothing but alternating covers of Paranoid and Surrender. So over and over again, they kept playing it over and over again, making the audience incredibly angry. And Faith No More liked their opener joke so much that they decided to continue it. So when they came on stage, they opened their set with their own version of Paranoid and teased the audience with an opening riff multiple times throughout the show. So to start their encore, they brought Steel Pole Bathtub back on stage to play Paranoid again for the 7th time in the show. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine hearing Paranoid 7 times in a show? I literally lost my mind. That's hilarious, though. There's some darkness. It's comical in a sense. You wouldn't get that mad, but you would get mad. But I thought that was so hilarious when I read this. So that's a little of my fun facts. I don't think I talked about that one last time. And I'm a little sad that they're not touring. And we all know, right? I know you do, Blake, know as well why they're not touring in 2025. Right? I'm a little sad.
I think they did want to do something, but I think they're waiting for Mike Patton to decide if he wants.
Yes. I read that he was diagnosed with agoraphobia, which is really weird because it's the fear of being in crowded places.
I think I have.
Dude, I'm just living in Canada and it's cold out there. Where are you going to go out in the tundra? Come on.
Talking about. I live 2 hours from the United States.
Yeah, but that's 2 hours.
I live on the 401 highway is the busiest street in North America, and that's in Ontario.
I'm sure it's nice.
So then my stupid tab won't work. Anyway, I was going to say this album only peaked at number 39 in Canada. Can't believe that. What's wrong with us?
I don't know what's going on.
The home of black metal, Norway, it peaked at number 6. So all you black metal fans, you should be listening. I guess they were listening to Faith. Well, maybe they weren't the black metal fans that were listening. But anyway, okay, I lost my tab. But anyways, okay. So now we usually do a top 10 list, and we are going to do a top 10 list. But it's got nothing to do with Faith More, and it has nothing to do with the year this album came out. 1995. Georgina wanted to do top 10 female singers or just members of bands. What's your list? Sorry. Is it just singers?
Yeah.
Mostly, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. And I might do it if I can get my tablet to come back on. I have some written down, but if I don't, I'll just let Georgina do her. But you can start doing yours now, and I'll try to get the thing working.
Okay. They're in no real order. They're not in any real order because all these women are just iconic in their own right. And I love all of them. And I think they've made a substantial presence and influence to, I guess, future generations of girls that want to get into heavy metal. I never liked female fronted, but now I like female fronted. Now everybody knows I'm a Ginger fan. And I love Tatiana Shmylyuk. I hope I'm saying her name right, but I love Ginger. I really do. I love her stuff. I love her vocals. I think she's wonderful. I would say, and like I said, they're not in any order. So Tati would be one. And then I love Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil. She's a treasure. I love her as well. I think she's a great talent. Now going into rock and roll, I love Debbie Harry. Right? Big Blonde fan. I love Debbie Harry. She's still rocking it, and she's probably in the 70s, just like Ozzy was. Pat Benatar. I love Pat Benatar. My dad got me into Pat Benatar, God rest his soul. He's a big Pat Benatar fan. Just love this woman. And we all know why. And she's still touring, I think, with Mike Giraldo. We're still doing tours with her bands all over the country. I think she played in Atlantic City not too long ago. I wanted to go see it, but I wasn't able to. I even threw in Ann Wilson. I know you're not a Heart fan, Blake, but I threw in there. She deserves it. We got it. Everybody loves Ann. Got it. Yeah. You're giggling. I put Tarja Turunen. I think she definitely belongs in here, right? Tarja, you put the wonderful and eclectic sounds of Tarja. I even put Song Salt in there from White Zombie. I don't know if I should have or would have done that, but I did put her in there. She's not a big singer, but she's a good backup singer. I put her in there. She's a great bassist. I love it. I love her style. I plopped in there Lee Aaron. I'm putting Lee Aaron in there. I think she deserves props. And I also put this came out of the kind of blue sky. Nobody would have put OTIP in there, but I like OTIP. I think she's new. I think she's got some cool vibes and OTIP. And that's my list of top female metal and rock singers.
Okay. Now I'm just finishing up my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9. I need one more. Okay, there's a group called, now mine aren't going to be in any order either. I know I'm going to think, oh, I forgot about her after we do it. But there's a group, and I can't even remember the group. Okay.
It's okay.
I have 9. I don't know. There's a group called, I don't know, they're gothic horror kind of group. And there's 2 females and 2 males in it. And I like Marilyn Manson a little bit too, but I'm sorry. But anyway, I like that band. If I think, I'll edit it in. Okay, this damn tablet. Okay, so I got 2 singers from Arch Enemy. That would be Angela Gossett, who was the original, not the original, but the original female singer after they got rid of their male singer. And she kind of was like one of the first death metal vocalists, female vocalists that is, in the melodic scene, their melodic death metal scene. So her, and that's how I got down to Arch Enemy. And then of course Alyssa White Blues, who's Canadian, who took over for Angela. Angela's now the manager of the band Arch Enemy, and so I like Alyssa. She's always so much energy in her live shows for sure, running all around the place, kind of like Bristol. In no order too. I didn't order either. Okay, so actually I'm gonna leave my last one will be my number one. Okay, so I got Lee Aaron also because I used to have her poster on my high school locker at school. I saw her a couple times because she's Canadian, obviously.
Yes.
From Ontario. And she's still singing, not necessarily metal, even though even you go back now to listen to her stuff, it's not really metal either. But back then it was metal. It was along the hair metal lines, this metal queen. and stuff like that. So yeah, so since she was on my locker, she's still one of my favorites. And another female from Canada's name was Darby Mills, who you probably don't know, but she sang for the band The Headpins, which is not heavy metal, but hard rock. And the Headpins featured members of a band called Chilliwack, but they did a little heavier band called the Headpins. You might know the song "Don't It Make You Feel Like Dancing." Don't it make you feel that song? But they only had like 2 albums, I think, 2 or 3 albums. But I really like their 2 albums. One album is called Turn It Loud. And the other one, I don't remember the other one called. But anyway, Headpins, check them out if you've never heard it before. And they are still around too, but she is not a singer anymore, but there is a female singer in the band. Okay, my next is, let's see, Lauren Hart of the band Once Human, who I thought were going to have a new album out this year, but I haven't heard anything about it. So I'm hoping they have 3 albums, 3, maybe 4. I can't remember, 3 or 4 albums. But hopefully they're going to be making another album, as I really like her. And that's Melodic Death too, like that. She changes back and forth. And I'm going to mention, I think this band only has 1 album out. The band is called 5 Rand. That's 5, the number, R-A-N-D. And the singer, Julia Eleanor. They are from Italy, and they have a new album coming out this year. I believe that is only their 2nd album, I believe, but she's a friend of the Metal Pits, and I have a Metal Pit shirt going to her soon.
What? I don't know.
So I had to put
Awesome.
on my list, but she's also an awesome singer. So check that band out, 5 Rand. And then I got Diva Satanica, who of course is also another fan of the Metal Pit, and she was a metal maiden back like 10 or 11 years ago before she was even a singer. And she also hopefully has a Metal Pit shirt coming to her too. And she is in the band called Blood Hunter. And they are working on a new album too. And I think that album will be out this year, I believe, too.
Awesome.
And then I got another Canadian here, Brittany Slays of Unleash the Archers. She's a great vocalist. They're more power metal. They have some
Yes.
in there, but it's more power metal mostly. They've got a little softer on their last couple albums, which I don't really like. But anyway, she's still an awesome singer. And my number 1 female singer, and this is my number 1 because I just love her. I've loved her since she was Cindy Lou. And that, of course, is Taylor Momsen of the Pretty Reckless.
Really? Oh, wow.
She, of course, played Cindy Lou, the Jim Carrey movie, the Grinch movie or whatever.
Yes.
The human movie, where he played the Grinch, and she was Cindy Lou, and whatever, 20 years later, she's singing, and I think they're working on a new album also, too, but they have about 3 or 4 albums at least, but I love her vocals and stuff, and I guess it's not heavy metal, but it's pretty hard rock, and the rest of the band looks heavy metal. They all got long hair, and she did a cover Soundgarden song, and she had Tom Rello from, I forget his name, but he's helped on a couple songs and stuff like that. So they're definitely on the heavy side, but they're definitely heavy. They're not pop music. They're just hard rock. I don't really know the genres outside of heavy metal anymore. But I still call her metal myself and love to see her live sometime. They were just on tour, or maybe still are, with AC/DC. So like they've been playing for whatever, many fans, of course, playing with AC/DC. And I guess a bat bit her on stage or something.
Oh.
I don't think she wasn't hurt or anything like that, but this happened a while ago. You could probably look that up on Google or AI, or maybe not AI, you might not be real. But yeah, she had or something on stage. And then opening piece. There. So there's I don't have 10. I guess I'm missing one, but who cares? I can't think of it. So there's my 9 and your 10 female singers and/or band members. I could say I'll throw Girl Skull in there as my 10. Or Rock Goddess. I really like Rock Goddess, the band Rock Goddess. It's just I don't remember it. And the Cycle Sluts from Hell. That's an honorable mention.
Yeah, that's right. How could I forget that?
Just because I wanted to say slut once.
Right. Yeah, I know. They're great. Great girls, too.
Yeah. Okay. So there's our pod. Anything else you want to add here? I suppose sometime we're going to do the next Faith No More album, the 6th one, which is Album of the Year, because what was the Album of the Year? So we got to do a podcast on it. So I'm sure we'll do that at one, because I know it's.
And we know him there.
And then there's Soul Invictus, I think it's called.
Yes.
So,
Well,
when I first listened to that, I didn't like it. But I think what you really need with Faith No More is to listen over and over again, and then get on.
you're like, yeah.
If you can handle Mike Patton's screaming craziness lyrics that don't really make much sense most of the time, but who cares? They're hilarious. Okay. So thanks, Georgina, for being on this podcast episode.
You're very welcome, Blake. Keep a pile of talking about these guys.
So thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you rate and subscribe if you can to our podcast.
Yes.
If you're a Faith No More fan, message on Instagram and say what your favorite song is from this album, whatever. And again, make sure you check out my new horror podcast called Someone's in My Fruit Cellar Podcast. It's only got 1 episode, but go check it out and make sure you follow that one too. So thanks, Georgina. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And see you, hopefully, next week.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
You have been listening to the Metal Pit Podcast. Podcast edited by Blake Mossy. Visit our websites www.themetalpit.org and www.themetalpitpodcast.com. If you live in North America or the UK, download our streaming music station on Apple and Google Play stores, Metal Pit Radio. Please rate and review our podcast wherever you listen. Thanks for listening.